Welcome back to the Auction Brief, cutting through the narratives and the noise to bring you the best auction draft insight and strategy in the business. And now here's your host, Drew Davenport.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Season 2, Episode 4 of the Auction Brief video series. Thanks for joining me again. I'm Drew Davenport, and this week I want to talk about the mistakes I made in last year's auctions that can help you in this year's auctions. In this video, we're going to talk specifically about quarterback approach in one quarterback leagues. After you finish the video, don't forget, Thursday morning, the podcast, The Auction Brief, drops with expanded conversation about all the topics covered in my video series. And as always, before we get started, don't forget you can find me on Twitter at DrewFBGAuctions, as well as all of my writing over at footballguys.com. How do you approach quarterbacks in a one quarterback league? A lot of auction drafters like to simply wait until the end of the draft and grab two really cheap quarterbacks. And I don't mind this strategy at all. The thing is, this can still be a risky strategy. Those who walked out of their drafts last year with Teddy Bridgewater, Matthew Stafford, or Jared Goff found it to be a bit frustrating. I almost never advocate paying top dollar for quarterback either. And last year, the big mistake I made was I ignored my own advice. I found myself in two 10-team leagues trying to differentiate at the quarterback position in my starting lineup by going after Lamar Jackson. And while he didn't have a disastrous campaign, he was not even close to being worth the price I paid in both the auctions in which I landed him. Instead, I have found in recent years in auctions that there is a small value pocket above the replacement level quarterbacks and below the top tier quarterbacks. Last year, a couple guys that fell into that category were Josh Allen and Deshaun Watson. I've noticed this little value pocket exists behind the elite guys and ahead of the replacement level guys for several years now in my auctions. So you and I need to be ready to exploit that value pocket at quarterback once again in 2021. So, for more on this and all the mistakes I made in last year's drafts that can help you with this year's drafts, tune into the Auction Brief podcast on Thursday morning as I talk with the guys from Fighting Chance Fantasy Sports about all the mistakes we made in 2020 and how we can improve going into 2021 draft season. Thanks for joining me again. The Auction Brief is adjourned.